like a champ. See, she'll do a cold start, bounce off the rev limiter. What's up, everybody? Welcome to Hammer Down Motorsports. My name is Steve Fast, and I hope you guys are having an amazing day today. Today, it is a wonderful sunny day in Pennsylvania. We've been having a really horrible November. It's been really cold. It's been kind of more like January weather, which is not exactly what we want to be dealing with, but it is what it is. It rained like crazy last night, so everything is now really muddy outside, and it's a complete mess. But we got a few of the trucks in the shop here right now. I'm gonna be doing some headlights on this Ram. Just gotta get that cleaned up. We had one burnt out. But today, we are gonna go get the generator we got from Harbor Freight. Now, I've been using this all year on the race trailer, running everything, just pretty much, I'll fill that thing up with fuel, I'll let it run all day. I've done one oil change on it already, so this is gonna be our second oil change, and I'm gonna show you guys the easy way to do this. So the concrete people left this part of their power trowel. I guess it was wore out or they had a new one or something like that, but it does make a very nice little doormat here in front of the door for the shop, because as you can see over here, it's pretty much just a soupy, muddy mess. So the generator I have over there underneath the tarp, because I took it out of the race trailer just to make it easier to take the car in and out. I wasn't going to be using the generator for that time at the track, and I didn't want it in the way. So I do have it over there, and I think we're going to use the 98 F-150, if it'll start, to bring it over to the shop. Let's see what we got. 1998 Ford F-150. Let's check some reliability here. Go, just like a champ. See, she'll do a cold start, bounce off the rev limiter. Oh yeah, get it. That's one way to warm them up. And for those of you who are wondering, we still have pretty much no brakes on this truck because of the rusted line in the back, but that's not gonna stop us. Ooh, she's a little wet. I feel her sliding around pretty good. I don't know. Oh, I can feel the rear end kicking out. It rained so hard last night. I really don't think we're gonna be able to get this truck back up this hill. I think we're along for the ride at this point. I think it's gonna have to go down towards the shop because the path of least resistance, and through the mud pit onto the road. Yep. Yeah, there is no way we're getting up to that generator with this truck, not with the tires that it has. So we're gonna have to find another way. I think the Can-Am is gonna be a much better bet for getting up that hill. So we got the generator over here underneath the tarp. I've never charged the battery on this thing. I believe it charges its own battery while the generator is running, but we haven't ran this thing in probably a few months. So we're gonna do a little reliability test on this thing as well. All right, first things first, we're gonna give this thing a start up. We're gonna put it to start. We're gonna make sure that our eco throttle is off, which it is. And we're gonna hit the start button. She's a little slow going. It's been a little while since it started, so let's give it a second try. There we go. Took about 2.5 tries and she's back up and running. Got a little bit of smoke, but we still have it choked a little bit. Let's put it over to the run. There we go, running like a dream. So what I recommend when you're doing an oil change on one of these, just warm it up a little bit. It doesn't have to be screaming hot, but you just want all the oil to be able to circulate and drain out of this thing properly, especially if we still do have snow on the ground. It's not really that warm out. So you want to make sure that this thing's got a little bit of heat in it so that old oil is going to come out properly and you can get all your new stuff put in. So you can see on the hour meter, we've got 37 hours on this generator already. Just to switch between your different modes on the display, just hit this little gray button. It shows we're at 124 volts, 0 amps. We have nothing plugged into it. But yeah, 37 hours, second oil change. Let's see what our oil looks like. So now that our generators ran for about 5-6 minutes, the oil is nice and warm and it will come out a lot easier than if you just try to do this cold. So we got all that taken care of. Next thing you're gonna wanna do is you're gonna get some blocks of wood and stick them underneath the wheels, and we're gonna raise this generator up just a little bit in order to fit our oil pan. Now for me, I like using these aluminum food trays. I use these for barbecue a lot of the time. I get them at Costco in bulk, and I mean, they're pretty simple, easy to find item, and you can slide this underneath your generator once you have it lifted up, drain your oil inside, and the best part about these is, once your oil is in there, you can bend a little funnel end kind of around the end here if you want to drain this into a container. So it makes it really easy to dispose of your oil, and it's a pretty simple and easy item to find. So now we got our aluminum pan shoved underneath here. It was a little bit of a tight fit, but if you needed to, you could always put thicker boards underneath and raise it up a little bit higher. But we're going to open up our little door on the side here for our oil fill. Put that off to the side. So now just a quick look into our compartment. We have our oil fill right here, and we have our oil drain right below it. All you have to do is get a socket on there and remove that, and your oil will drain out into the passage below and drain down into your pan that you put underneath. So now as for the drain plug size, it is a 10 millimeter. So you get your 10 millimeter socket in here, crack it loose. Just take my ratchet off, just spin this out with the extension. Trying to lose my plug. It does have a little washer on the end. You want to make sure that you don't lose that. And as you can see, our oil is draining into our pan below. So now what you can do is undo the fill cap, kind of give the engine a little bit more ability to breathe. It's going to help the oil come out a little bit quicker. The fill also has the dipstick on it, so you know that you have the right amount in it when you have it all filled back up. And we're going to give that a minute to drain. All right, we only have a few drips of oil coming out the bottom here now. We can put our drain plug back in. Make sure that you have your threads aligned and it's screwing in nice and easy, that you don't strip this thing out. Once it stops, we're gonna put our ratchet back on. Just give it a nice light tighten. Don't have to go too crazy with it. Enough so you're not going to have any leaks, and we're ready to fill this thing back up. So now with these generators, they do provide you with the funnel to refill this, and it has all the appropriate angles to be able to get your oil back into the engine without having any problems with spilling all over the place. So for our new oil today, we're going to be using this Lucas Oil Products High Zinc Hot Rod and Classic High Performance Motor Oil at 10W30. So we're going to get half a quart in, and we're going to check our level, and we should be ready to fire it back up. One thing to remember too is make sure that your funnel is nicely cleaned out. You don't want any kind of contaminants getting into your engine when you're pouring in your new oil. So I always make sure to have a rag in here, and then I'll usually take some parts cleaner and clean out the funnel before I put my new oil in. And you just want to pour it nice and slow, that you don't pour it too fast and then end up having oil come over the back side of the funnel or anything like that. We don't need any messes all over the floor. But if you take your time, you won't have any issues whatsoever. So now we're gonna screw in our fill plug with the dipstick on it. And we'll remove it to show us our level. And if you can see it on the camera, we are right at the top of the cross hatches, which would be the exact full level that we'd wanna have for this generator. So now that we got our fill plug reinstalled, you can see there's still a little bit of residual oil over here. So we're gonna take some brake clean or some parts cleaner and just kind of spray that down, and that will drain out the bottom into our oil pan, and we can get rid of all that residual oil. Let everything kind of drain out the bottom. Stick a little piece of rag here and just kind of wipe down in that little tray where the drain hole is, and make sure we got all of our oil and old brake clean out of there, and it's nicely cleaned up, and we're ready to fire it up. So we're gonna put it over to the start position, which is the choke position. It probably shouldn't need it because it's warm, but we'll just put it there anyway. All right, we got our generator fired back up. gonna let this run for about 5 minutes or so, just kind of get the oil circulating around so we're not gonna have any issues whatsoever with level. And at this time, you can kind of have a look at where your drain plug is. Make sure you're not having any oil coming out of there and everything's nice and tight and leak free. So now as our generator is warming up, we can have a look at our old oil. And what I do is I just take a good flashlight and kind of shine into the oil and look for silver. And I mean, we're not talking about the bottom of the pan, we're talking about particles that are coming out of the engine, and it kind of looks like silver flakes or maybe even tiny particles. And I'm not really seeing a whole lot in here. I mean, we do have a little bit of cloudiness, that's just from our brake clean. But other than that, this oil looks fairly clean. This oil that I used the first time was Mobile 1. That's what I had available. So this time I grabbed something with a higher zinc content and see how that works out. But yeah, I'm not really seeing much of anything. The first oil change I did have a little bit of silver in the oil, which is very normal. That's why you want to change your oil on these generators within the first 8 hours, just to make sure you get that break-in period done and you get all those particles out of your engine. So now that the generator has ran for about 10 minutes or so, we're gonna shut it down. Give it about another 5 minutes to sit, and then we're gonna check our oil once again. Okay, we've given our generator some time to settle. It's time to remove our dipstick once again. And since everything's been moving around inside, this level probably isn't gonna be all that accurate. So we're gonna take a rag, we're gonna clean off the dipstick, and we're gonna put it back in. Now we're gonna pull it out for the second time here. It's kind of hard to see on the camera, but I can see our level is right on the money. So we can put this back into its place. We can reinstall the door, and our maintenance is complete. Well, everybody, that's how to change oil on your Predator 3500 generator. Very quick, very easy way to keep your generator running like new. If you guys are looking for a cheap solution for your power needs on the go, the 3500 Predator generator works absolutely amazing. I'm very, very happy with the results. We've run it for almost a year already with no issues, and this oil change is maybe even happier to see that there's no contaminants in the engine. The oil came out clean, so I think we're gonna have a very, very nice long service life for this unit, and it's definitely come up really big on the race trailer. So if you guys enjoyed this video, don't forget to give it a big thumbs up. If you're new to the channel, hit that subscribe button. And as always, keep that hammer down.